mission in the classroom, and really has gotten a lot out of his Country Day experience, as much as we've gotten out of him. Anthony was selected, as you know, as the third captain by both of his teammates at the beginning of the season. And really did an excellent job leading by example, always working hard, and was a true leader on his team. Certainly scored a big goal for us in the district final against Lanphier, basically putting that game away. Many valuable runs down the left side and services that turned into goals for us. Certainly not bigger than the one to Jabbar that tied the game against Cranbrook in the regional semifinal. It really was, as the play was developing and walking in Cooper, we've been asking the boys all year to continue running ahead of the ball, and he does. He makes a terrific passer, and I think it takes less than 40 touches this time. He just gets it on his left foot and serves it. And the whole time it's going, you're just marveling at how wonderful and how beautiful his cross was. And I thought, boy, it would be really great if somebody was on the other end. The bar comes out of nowhere and finishes it. So it's something I'm going to remember for a long, long time. He had 6 goals and 7 assists in a year, and was selected by the coaches to the all-district team. Anthony.
First off, this is my 5th varsity meet between soccer and hockey, and I've seen 5 rounds of seniors come and go, and just being up here is so surreal. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Bosker for an extremely successful first year as head coach. So we do a round of applause. And we as a team, we had a pretty good season. I believe we were 17-5-2. And I think some of the 4-year varsity players can attest to this. This year's team was arguably one of the best teams out of the 4 years. And it was because of the hard work of everybody on the team, whether you were a 4-year starter or somebody who was lucky to have 5 minutes in the game. Everybody worked together. And I'm proud of being part of a team with so much team chemistry. We had our ups and downs this season. Obviously, we lost to Brother Rice and Cranbrook, but at the same time, we beat some very tough teams as well, such as Lanphier, Fort Haven on senior night. They were pretty much undefeated, and of course, Rosehill and Williamston, which I believe was the highlight of our season, which is unfortunate because I wasn't there to experience the And yeah, so I had a concussion. And that brings me to a list of thank yous. Thank you to Mr. Fagioli and Mrs. Prime for foregoing the chance to see their sons win a huge soccer tournament just so that I would get to the hospital. That meant a lot. Thank you to Uncle Everett and Aunt Christine who stayed with my mom and me in the hospital for 4 or 5 hours after I was checked in. Thank you to Mr. John and the trainers for checking up on me and saying oh, you can't play for a month, even though they knew I wouldn't listen. Thank you to Mrs. John for the headgear. And there's just so many parents that I could thank, all together, all the wishes, prayers, and hopes for a speedy recovery. I'm a pretty practical guy, but I'd like to believe that all those wishes, there's a spiritual aspect that really helped me get back on the foot in a really quick time. And I'd also like to thank the coaches. Coach McCarty, I still don't know if you like or dislike me.
You are unique.
He's amused by me. Thanks to Coach Bosser. There's actually a pretty funny story that I'd like to share. So freshman year, I was with Jason Wan on JV. For like the first couple of days, I was like, or after the first tryout, when I got moved down from the varsity tryout to JV, I like pulled Coach Bosser aside. I was like, Coach, you gotta put me up with the varsity boys. I'm ready. And I was like crying, and my boss was like, no, dude, you're not. So yeah. And then Jason, on the other hand, got pulled up, so I was extremely jealous, and I've treated him as a rival ever since. Sophomore year, he made varsity again, and I made JV again, so that was kind of crappy. Honestly, like the lessons I learned on JV, like it was really worth it. I got a lot of time to develop, and there's no shame in that. Also, I'd like to thank the boys who have come together to accept one another as brothers. It's like, out of all the teams I've been on, this is like the closest, most bonded team. It's actually pretty crazy. Like, yeah. Last year, I don't want to name names, but like it was pretty divided, and like you didn't know if you could talk to somebody. I'm just not going to name names. And finally, I want to thank my mom and dad. My dad, who works in China, isn't always able to come to my games, and but I always know he's thinking about me. And when I got my concussion, he was really worried. And thank you to my mom, who's my #1 supporter, and who's also really worried about me all the time, for good reason. And it's really unfortunate that the hockey season just got underway, which is more physical than soccer. So I know we're both looking forward to that. And, finally, I want to say to the returning players that you guys have a legacy to uphold. DCD soccer, it's a rich tradition, and I know you guys can do it. So yeah, that's all I have to say.